Hello everyone. This audiobook contains masterwords with meaning, examples, synonym and antonym. Incontinent, meaning of incontinent. Adjective. 1. Lacking self-control, especially in terms of controlling bodily functions. 2. Unable to restrain or control emotions, desires, or actions. Examples. 1. The patient's medical condition left her incontinent, making it necessary to use special products to manage bodily functions. 2. His incontinent outbursts of anger and frustration were causing tension in the workplace. Synonyms. 1. Unrestrained. 2. Uncontrolled. 3. Undisciplined. 4. Impulsive. 5. Indiscreet. Antonyms. 1. Control. 2. Discipline. 3. Self-restraint. 4. Composed. 5. Restrained. Incontrovertible, meaning of incontrovertible. Adjective. Impossible to dispute, deny, or argue against, unquestionable and beyond doubt. Examples. 1. The scientific evidence presented was so strong and well documented that it was considered incontrovertible by experts in the field. 2. The video footage provided incontrovertible proof of the suspect's presence at the crime scene. Synonyms. 1. Indisputable. 2. Unquestionable. 3. Undeniable. 4. Irrefutable. 5. Certain. Antonyms. 1. Questionable. 2. Doubtful. 3. Debatable. 4. Controversial. 5. Ambiguous. Incorporate. Meaning of incorporate. Verb. 1. To include or combine something into a larger whole, to integrate or unite. 2. To form a legal corporation or company. Adjective. 1. Formed into a legal corporation, having a separate legal status as a corporation. Examples. 1. The new version of the software will incorporate several advanced features to improve user experience. 2. The company decided to incorporate customer feedback into their product development process. Synonyms. Verb. 1. Integrate. 2. Combine. 3. Include. 4. Merge. 5. Unite. Adjective. 1. Corporate. 2. Organized. 3. Established. 4. Incorporated. 5. Structured. Antonyms. Verb. 1. Exclude. 2. Remove. 3. Separate. 4. Divide. 5. Isolate. Adjective. 1. Unincorporated. 2. Independent. 3. Disorganized. 4. Unstructured. 5. Unorganized. Incorporeal. Incorporeal is an adjective that describes something that lacks a physical form or substance. It typically refers to things that are abstract, spiritual, or non-material in nature. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The concept of love is incorporeal, as it cannot be seen or touched, but its effects are profound and real. 2. Many religious and philosophical beliefs involve the existence of incorporeal beings, such as spirits or souls. Synonyms for incorporeal. 1. Immaterial. 2. Spiritual. 3. Non-physical. 4. Ethereal. 5. Supernatural. Antonyms for incorporeal. 1. Physical. 2. Tangible. 3. Material 4. Concrete 5. Solid. Incorrigible. Incorrigible is an adjective used to describe a person or behavior that is resistant to correction, reform, or change, especially in the context of undesirable habits or traits. It suggests that despite attempts at improvement, the individual remains unalterable in their behavior. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. Despite numerous interventions and counseling sessions, the young delinquent remained incorrigible, continuing to engage in criminal activities. 2. Her incorrigible habit of procrastination prevented her from completing assignments on time, no matter how hard she tried to change. Synonyms for incorrigible. 1. Unreformable. 2. Unmanageable. 3. Intractable. 4. Stubborn. 5. Inveterate. Antonyms for incorrigible. 1. Reformable. 2. Amenable. 3. Teachable. 4. Malleable. 5. Correctable. Incredulous. Incredulous is an adjective used to describe someone who is unwilling or unable to believe something, often due to a sense of skepticism or doubt. It's used when someone reacts with disbelief or incredulity to a statement, situation, or claim. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The announcement of the alien sighting left many people incredulous, as they struggled to accept such an extraordinary claim. 2. She was incredulous when she heard that her favorite author was going to visit her small town. It seemed too good to be true. Synonyms for incredulous. 1. Skeptical. 2. Disbelieving. 3. Unbelieving. 4. Doubtful. 5. Suspicious. Antonyms for incredulous. 1. Believing. 2. Trusting. 3. Credulous. 4. Convinced. 5. Accepting. Increment. Increment is a noun that refers to an increase or addition, often used in the context of a gradual or regular growth or progression. It's commonly used to describe small, successive increases. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The company announced an annual salary increment of 5% for all employees as a reward for their hard work. 2. The temperature showed a steady increment throughout the day, rising from 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the morning to 85 degrees Fahrenheit by mid-afternoon. Synonyms for increment. 1. Increase. 2. Growth. 3. Augmentation. 4. Addition. 5. Gain. Antonyms for increment. 1. Decrease. 2. Reduction. 3. Loss. 4. Subtraction. 5. Diminution. Incriminate. Incriminate is a verb that means to accuse or provide evidence that suggests someone's involvement in a crime or wrongdoing. It indicates that the person's actions or statements might lead to them being held responsible or blamed for a particular offense. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The surveillance footage seemed to incriminate the suspect, showing them entering the building just before the robbery occurred. 2. His hasty remarks during the investigation inadvertently incriminated him, raising suspicions about his role in the corporate fraud. Synonyms for incriminate. 1. Implicate. 2. Accuse. 3. Charge. 4. Blame. 5. Compromise. Antonyms for incriminate. 1. Exonerate. 2. Clear. 3. Absolve. 4. Vindicate. 5. Acquit. Incrustation. Incrustation is a noun that refers to a hard coating or layer that forms on the surface of something, often as a result of the buildup of minerals or other materials. It can also refer to decorative elements that are added to the surface of objects. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The bathroom tiles had a thick layer of mineral incrustation due to the hard water, which required frequent cleaning to maintain their appearance. 2. The intricate gold incrustations on the antique mirror added an air of elegance to the otherwise simple design. Synonyms for incrustation. 1. Coating. 2. Incrustation. 3. Overlay. 4. Deposit. 5. Veneer. Antonyms for incrustation. 1. Cleanliness. 2. Purity. 3. Bareness. 4. Plainness. 5. Clarity. Incubate. Incubate is a verb that can have multiple meanings, but one common usage is to describe the process of providing optimal conditions for something to develop or grow, often referring to the nurturing of ideas, projects, or organisms. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The startup company needed time to incubate their new product concept, refining it and gathering feedback before its official launch. 2. The eggs of the bird species need to be kept warm in order to incubate properly and hatch into chicks. Synonyms for incubate. 1. Nurture. 2. Foster. 3. Develop. 4. Cultivate. 5. Grow. Antonyms for incubate. 1. Abandon. 2. Neglect. 3. Ignore. 4. Halt. 5. Stifle. Inculcate. Inculcate is a verb that means to instill or teach an idea, value, or principle by repetition and persistent instruction, often with the goal of influencing someone's behavior or mindset. It involves firmly establishing a concept in someone's mind over time. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. Parents often try to inculcate the importance of honesty in their children by consistently reinforcing the value of telling the truth. 2. The teacher worked hard to inculcate a love for reading in her students, regularly introducing them to engaging books and stories. Synonyms for inculcate. 1. Instill. 2. Implant. 3. Ingrain. 4. Teach. 5. Educate. Antonyms for inculcate. 1. Neglect. 2. Discourage. 3. Disregard. 4. Abandon. 5. Forget. Incumbent. Incumbent is an adjective that describes someone who currently holds a particular position, job, or office. It can also refer to a duty or responsibility that is required or expected. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The incumbent mayor is seeking re-election for a second term in the upcoming election. 2. As part of her role as the project manager, it is incumbent upon her to ensure that all team members are well coordinated and informed. Synonyms for incumbent. 1. Current. 2. Present. 3. Occupying. 4. Holding. 5. Sitting. Antonyms for incumbent. 1. Former. 2. Past. 3. Ex. 4. Non-current. 5. Previous. Incur. Incur is a verb that means to become subject to or bring upon oneself, usually something undesirable or burdensome, typically as a result of one's actions or decisions. It implies experiencing negative consequences. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. By ignoring safety protocols, he incurred a serious injury during the construction project. 2. The company's risky investment strategies caused them to incur substantial financial losses. Synonyms for incur. 1. Experience. 2. Suffer. 3. Face. 4. Undergo. 5. Receive. Antonyms for incur. 1. Avoid. 2. Prevent. 3. Evade. 4. Escape. 5. Dodge. Incursion. Incursion is a noun that refers to a sudden invasion, intrusion, or hostile entry into a territory or domain, often carried out by force. It can also be used in a broader sense to describe any sudden or aggressive entrance into a particular area or field. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The neighboring country's military launched an incursion into our territory, resulting in heightened tensions between the two nations. 2. The unexpected incursion of new competitors in the market disrupted the established company's dominance. Synonyms for incursion. 1. Invasion. 2. Intrusion. 3. Raid. 4. Foray. 5. Attack. Antonyms for incursion. 1. Retreat. 2. Withdrawal. 3. Departure. 4. Departing. 5. Exit. Indefatigable. Indefatigable is an adjective used to describe someone or something that has seemingly endless energy, is tireless, and does not easily become exhausted. It denotes a persistent and unwavering determination or effort. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The indefatigable teacher spent countless hours preparing engaging lessons and providing extra support to her students. 2. His indomitable spirit and indefatigable work ethic enabled him to overcome numerous challenges and achieve success in his career. Synonyms for indefatigable. 1. Tireless. 2. Unflagging. 3. Unwearied. 4. Persistent. 5. Energetic. Antonyms for indefatigable. 1. Fatigue. 2. Exhausted. 3. Weary. 4. Tired. 5. Lethargic. Indelible. Indelible is an adjective used to describe something that is permanent, lasting, and cannot be removed or forgotten. It's often used to refer to memories, impressions, or marks that leave a strong and lasting impact. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The childhood trip to the beach left an indelible memory in her mind, which she cherished throughout her life. 2. The artist's painting created an indelible mark on the art world, influencing generations of painters that followed. Synonyms for indelible. 1. Permanent. 2. Lasting. 3. Unforgettable. 4. Enduring. 5. Ineradicable. Antonyms for indelible. 1. Erasable. 2. Temporary. 3. Forgettable. 4. Fading. 5. Transient. Indentation. Indentation is a noun that refers to a space or mark left by an indented line or object, typically used to indicate a beginning of a new paragraph or the arrangement of text in a document. It can also refer to a depressed or hollowed area on a surface. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. In proper formatting, each new paragraph should start with a slight indentation to visually separate it from the previous one. 2. The old tree had deep indentations on its bark from years of weathering and growth. Synonyms for indentation. 1. Groove. 2. Furrow. 3. Notch. 4. Depression. 5. Hollow. Antonyms for indentation. 1. Protrusion. 2. Bump. 3. Elevation. 4. Rise. 5. Projection. Indenture. Indenture has multiple meanings, but one common usage is as a noun referring to a legal contract or agreement that is written and often involves a commitment or obligation. It can also refer to a deed or document that has a notched or serrated edge, and historically, it was used to describe a contract for apprenticeship. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The young artist signed an indenture with a prestigious gallery, agreeing to display her artwork exclusively with them for the next 5 years. 2. In colonial times, many young individuals would enter into an indenture with a skilled craftsman to learn a trade and receive training. Synonyms for indenture. 1. Contract. 2. Agreement. 3. Covenant. 4. Deed. 5. Bond. Antonyms for indenture. 1. Release. 2. Discharge. 3. Freedom. 4. Liberation. 5. Unbinding. Indeterminate. Indeterminate is an adjective that refers to something that is not precisely defined, settled, or established. It suggests a lack of clear boundaries, limits, or conclusive outcomes. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The weather forecast was indeterminate, making it difficult to predict whether it would rain or be sunny. 2. The artist's abstract painting left the meaning open to interpretation, with an indeterminate arrangement of colors and shapes. Synonyms for indeterminate. 1. Uncertain. 2. Undefined. 3. Ambiguous. 4. Inconclusive. 5. Vague. Antonyms for indeterminate. 1. Definite. 2. Clear. 3. Certain. 4. Established. 5. Precise. Indicative. Indicative is an adjective that is used to indicate or suggest something, often serving as a sign, signal, or expression of a particular state or condition. It points to or gives information about something else. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The dark clouds and strong winds were indicative of an approaching storm. 2. Her smile and cheerful demeanor were indicative of her positive outlook on life. Synonyms for indicative. 1. Suggestive. 2. Representational. 3. Demonstrative. 4. Symbolic. 5. Evidential. Antonyms for indicative. 1. Uninformative. 2. Misleading. 3. Ambiguous. 4. Concealed. 5. Non-representative. Indices. Indices is the plural form of the word index. An index is a list or guide that helps locate information within a larger body of content, such as a book or database. It can also refer to a numerical value used to represent changes or trends, like in financial or statistical contexts. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The book's index provided a quick way to find specific topics and references. 2. The stock market's performance was reflected in various market indices, showing the overall trend of different sectors. Synonyms for index. 1. List 2. Catalog 3. Directory 4. Guide 5. Indicator. Antonyms for index. 1. Unrelated 2. Irrelevant 3. Inconsequential 4. Disregarded 5. Ignored. Indict. Indict is a verb that means to formally accuse or charge someone with a serious crime, typically through legal proceedings. It involves presenting evidence to a grand jury or court that suggests the individual's involvement in the alleged wrongdoing. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The prosecutor decided to indict the suspect for embezzlement after uncovering substantial evidence of financial wrongdoing. 2. The grand jury chose not to indict the defendant due to insufficient evidence to support the charges. Synonyms for indict. 1. Charge 2. Accuse 3. Prosecute 4. Sue 5. Impeach. Antonyms for indict. 1. Acquit 2. Exonerate 3. Clear 4. Absolve 5. Vindicate. Indifferent. Indifferent is an adjective that describes a lack of interest, concern, or strong feeling about something. It can also refer to a neutral or unbiased attitude toward a situation or topic. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. She seemed indifferent to the outcome of the game, as she wasn't a fan of either team. 2. His indifferent response to the news of the promotion indicated that he wasn't particularly excited about it. Synonyms for indifferent. 1. Unconcerned 2. Apathetic 3. Disinterested 4. Neutral 5. Lukewarm. Antonyms for indifferent. 1. Interested 2. Enthusiastic 3. Caring 4. Concerned 5. Engaged. Indigenous. Indigenous is an adjective used to describe something that is native or originating from a particular region, environment, or country. It refers to things that are naturally occurring in a specific area. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The kangaroo is an indigenous species of Australia, and it has become a symbol of the country's unique wildlife. 2. The local tribe has a strong connection to the indigenous plants and herbs in the area, using them for traditional medicines. Synonyms for indigenous. 1. Native 2. Original 3. Local 4. Native born. 5. Autochthonous. Antonyms for indigenous. 1. Foreign 2. Non-native 3. Exotic 4. Imported 5. Alien. Indigent. Indigent is an adjective that describes someone who is extremely poor and lacks the means to provide for their basic needs. It refers to individuals in a state of poverty or destitution. Here are 2 examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The local charity organization provides assistance to the indigent population, offering food, shelter, and clothing to those in need. 2. The documentary shed light on the living conditions of the indigent families in the slums, highlighting their struggles to make ends meet. Synonyms for indigent. 1. Impoverished 2. Needy 3. Destitute 4. Penniless 5. Poor. Antonyms for indigent. 1. Affluent 2. Wealthy 3. Prosperous 4. Well-off 5. Rich. Indignation. Indignation is a noun that refers to strong displeasure or anger aroused by a perceived injustice, unfair treatment, or wrongdoing. It's a strong emotional response to feeling wronged or offended. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The students expressed their indignation over the sudden increase in tuition fees without any prior notice or explanation. 2. Her face turned red with indignation as she read the scathing review of her hard work, feeling that it was unjust and harsh. Synonyms for indignation. 1. Anger. 2. Outrage. 3. Resentment. 4. Fury. 5. Wrath. Antonyms for indignation. 1. Acceptance. 2. Approval. 3. Contentment. 4. Satisfaction. 5. Complacency. Indignity. Indignity is a noun that refers to an act that offends someone's dignity, self-respect, or sense of worth. It involves treating someone in a way that makes them feel humiliated or disrespected. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The elderly man felt a deep sense of indignity when he was treated rudely by the store clerk, despite his polite demeanor. 2. The unfair and degrading treatment of the workers was an indignity that led to protests and demands for better working conditions. Synonyms for indignity. 1. Humiliation. 2. Disrespect. 3. Insult. 4. Offense. 5. Affront. Antonyms for indignity. 1. Respect. 2. Honor. 3. Dignity. 4. Courtesy. 5. Consideration. Indiscretion. Indiscretion is a noun that refers to a lack of judgment, prudence, or carefulness in one's actions or speech. It involves behaving or speaking without considering the potential consequences or implications. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. Her indiscretion in sharing confidential information with unauthorized individuals led to a breach of trust within the company. 2. The politician's public remarks revealed his indiscretion and lack of awareness about the sensitive nature of the topic. Synonyms for indiscretion. 1. Imprudence. 2. Folly. 3. Mistake. 4. Error. 5. Rashness. Antonyms for indiscretion. 1. Prudence. 2. Caution. 3. Wisdom. 4. Carefulness. 5. Discretion. Indiscriminate. Indiscriminate is an adjective that describes actions, choices, or behaviors that are done without careful consideration or without making distinctions. It suggests a lack of selectivity or discrimination. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The indiscriminate use of pesticides in agriculture has raised concerns about its impact on both harmful and beneficial insects. 2. The protest turned violent when some individuals engaged in indiscriminate vandalism, damaging both public and private property. Synonyms for indiscriminate. 1. Unselective. 2. Random. 3. Haphazard. 4. Arbitrary. 5. Non-discriminatory. Antonyms for indiscriminate. 1. Selective. 2. Discriminating. 3. Thoughtful. 4. Careful. 5. Specific. Indisputable. Indisputable is an adjective that describes something that is beyond doubt, unquestionable, or cannot be argued against. It refers to facts or evidence that are so clear and certain that they are not open to dispute. Here are two examples of how it can be used in sentences. 1. The video footage presented in court provided indisputable evidence of the defendant's involvement in the crime. 2. The scientific research yielded indisputable findings that supported the theory of climate change. Synonyms for indisputable. 1. Undeniable. 2. Irrefutable. 3. Incontrovertible. 4. Unquestionable. 5. Absolute. Antonyms for indisputable. 1. Questionable. 2. Dubious. 3. Disputable. 4. Uncertain. 5. Controversial.